Hey guys, I'm Randy.
And I'm Daniel.
We're two lifelong friends and musicians, but when we're not playing gigs, we like to talk games.
And today on the Gaming Gig podcast, we found out that Google's giving away 3 free months of Stadia Pro to YouTube Premium subscribers. Who cares?
So I got an email saying, hey, you're a YouTube Premium subscriber. You can get Google Stadia Pro for 3 months for free.
And you said to yourself, golly gee, what a deal.
What a deal. So the first thing I did was like, okay, well, one, it's free. So
right.
I didn't immediately sign up for it, though, because I was like, first, I want to see what games come with Stadia Pro.
Right. What can I actually play?
Yeah, I pulled up the list of games, and that's like probably the best thing about Stadia Pro is that you get a catalog of games that you can play for free with the subscription to Stadia Pro.
Yeah, but little did you know that once you open that list, you are only to be met with despair.
Well, disappointment for sure. So we set out with this podcast to make a list of top 10 games that are on there so that you guys can know if you're a Google, a YouTube Premium subscriber, here's the games that you might want to play that are on there. What we found is that there are 51 games.
Yep.
51. And we couldn't even make a top 10 list because we couldn't even find 10 games that we had played.
Yeah. There's so many games on there that, so many I hadn't even heard of.
A bunch of them.
I mean, like...
And there's only 51 games, so, it's hard to find that many games that you haven't heard of.
I know. And like I was telling you, I know I haven't played every game. I've missed a lot of games. But at least the really good ones, I think I would have heard of.
Right.
They're throwing, DreamWorks games at me, I guess movie games from DreamWorks movies, and I was like, this is pitiful. I felt bad for them. I was embarrassed that I was reading it to begin with. It wasn't a good time.
If you want a good laugh, just go look at the list of the games that are available. It's not like they're all bad games, because I think there are some good games on there, but the fact that they want to charge $9.99 for these games, and then this be like, look, this is the reason to sign up for Stadia Pro. It's not very compelling. But we pushed through.
Yeah.
And we decided we couldn't do a top 10 because there weren't 10 games that we felt were top 10 worthy. So we made a top 5 list.
Yeah, we made a top 5 list with 6 games on it. I don't know if you realize that.
Look, top 5 sounds better. It's a top 5 list.
It does. We'll just label it a top 5, even though.
Yeah.
And we'll just give 6 and just not mention it.
So
we'll edit this out in post.
No, we'll keep this in. No, we're keeping this in.
That was the joke, man.
Oh, okay.
Anytime somebody in a podcast says we're going to edit this out in post, they always leave it in, or I wouldn't know that they said it.
You only see the times they didn't edit it out, though, Daniel.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Okay, so game number 1 on the top 5 games on Stadia Pro is Hitman, the complete first season. And I'm guessing we're starting from these are in no order, I guess.
Nuh-uh, this is top of the heap, man.
Well, you look at their advertisements. If you look it up right now, it's all just everywhere is Hitman. Okay.
And you played some Hitman.
Yeah.
Pretty recently.
I did. I played some Hitman, and it's not bad, but it's just not a game for me. It's stealth, and I think it wants to be really free and have all the stuff that you can do. But at the end of the day, the way I figured out how to get through the levels was just to go in and kill a whole bunch of people and just run and just
You just decided that since you were playing as a man, you just go in and hit everybody, and then eventually you'd hit your target, and there you go, right?
Hit everybody.
Yeah,
I was a hit man. Yeah, no, it was... But I think that it is a good game, and I think that a lot of people really like it. I think that it probably has its critics, and I'm probably one of them. But I do understand that it is probably a lot of people will enjoy it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, have you played it?
No, I have seen some YouTube videos of people doing cool things in the levels and things like that, and it definitely seems like a game that if you like stealth games and you like, setting things up and making it run, work according to plan, I could see how you would like this game, but it didn't look like something I wanted to put time into.
No. Number 2 of the top 5 games is Overcooked All You Can Eat. Now this is like everything. This is Overcooked 1 and 2, right?
It's Overcooked 1 and 2 with all the DLCs and all that, but they even redid Overcooked 1 and the Overcooked 2 engine.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just looked that up today because I love Overcooked 2.
I didn't think... I mean, that's cool that it's in a new engine, but honestly, if you had told me that 1 was already in the 2 engine, I would have believed it because they're not that different.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's what they said on the website, though. So I'm not going to look it up again, but I read that earlier.
It's another remake to add to the list of remakes, huh?
It is another remake to add to the list, but Overcooked, if you haven't played it, is like, it's such a great party game.
Dude.
I mean, I love it, and it will straight up make you hate your friends. And what's not fun about that?
You're right. It's hilarious fun. Now, I would say don't play it with a spouse unless you are very, sure that there's nothing that could ever happen to your relationship.
Or if you're trying to get rid of them.
Yeah, then play it.
Yeah.
No, it's super fun. Overcooked is amazing. It probably is one of the best party games.
Mm-hmm. I can't think of really a better one that I've played recently anyway.
I will say that Overcooked isn't great for people who don't play any video games. I think you do have to have a little bit of video game experience.
Yeah, I made that mistake recently, and you don't want to introduce somebody who's new to gaming in general to gaming with Overcooked.
Yeah, it's a little chaotic. But
they'll be like in the floor, fetal position.
But you don't have to have a whole lot of experience in gaming. Just some. Just enough to know the basics of moving and then what buttons to press and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you don't need to have a lot of anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm telling you what, Overcooked, it's stressful. It's stressful. But in a good way.
Here's number 3, Daniel.
So number 3, we got City Skylines, which I think you're a pretty big fan of.
I'm a huge fan of. This is definitely the one on the list that stood out to me as probably being my favorite game on the list. And if you haven't played City Skylines, it's like SimCity, but better. I love those city builder games.
Can you build anything on the ground?
Of course you can build. Are you saying because it says Skylines?
Yeah.
Are you trying to make a joke here?
No, I'm just curious. I've never played the game, so I just...
Of course you can build things on the ground.
Oh. Well, I don't know why they named it that.
I think it's talking about skylines, you know what? I'm just going to let you go with your joke. So City Skylines it really is an awesome city builder. And it really is just like SimCity, except it just has all, better graphics and it has pretty much everything that you could want. If you like SimCity, you got to try City Skylines.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, number 4, we got Saints Row 4, which I don't think either one of us have played, but the reviews are good and people seem to like it. So I wanted to include it on the list. That's how much bottom of the barrel we were scraping. I just included a game that I thought people said was good. So I don't know how to tell you what Saints Row is like at all. But I can tell you that it got like a 9 out of 10 on some sort of rating that I looked up on the internet, and that should be good enough for you if you're willing to spend $9.99 on Stadia Pro.
Yeah, I don't know. I've wanted to try Saints Row. I mean, I don't know. Now, there is the next game, number 5, is a game that I have played, and it is a game that I really do like, and that's Worms, WMD. And Worms is awesome, but I'll tell you, it's not very fun on console. So if you're playing this, with a Stadia controller, like on a TV, it's not much fun. Like Worms is really meant to be played on a PC using a mouse. Like that's the way to play Worms. Now, I don't know if with Stadia if you can do that or not. I don't know if you have to have a Stadia controller or what.
I don't really know. I don't think you have to have a Stadia controller, but I might be wrong.
I don't know. Only way I've ever played Stadia is using a Stadia controller.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to have a Stadia controller for
I don't
sure.
think you do.
No.
I really don't think you do. Is this similar to Earthworm Jim? Because I've played that a little bit.
Not at all.
Huh.
Not at all like Earthworm Jim.
Okay.
No. Have you never played Worms?
No, but I played Earthworm Jim.
Well, I mean, they're both worm-themed games, but they're not the same.
No, I don't know what Worms is like at all.
Oh, really?
I know you've always had a thing for worms, but I don't know what the game's like.
No, well, yeah, I've always had a thing for worms of all kinds, but especially the game.
Mm-hmm. You should have seen it when we were kids. I mean, we go a long way back, and when we were kids, after the big rainstorms would come, you go outside and you'd see Randy just combing the sidewalk, looking for these things that had washed up, and at first it was weird, and eventually it became endearing, and then it went back to being super weird. So Anyway, tell us about this game.
So Worms is like a strategy combat game where basically you compete against other people, and you each are a worm, and you are on a map, and you move around. You do like movements and then attacks, and then you try to clear everyone off, be the last one standing. It's really fun.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's been many iterations of Worms throughout the years. I've played this WMD, which I think I could be wrong, is the most recent version of the game. But I've played Worms since I was a little kid on computer. They've been around for quite a while.
Okay.
They're good though.
Cool. And to round out our top 5, we have Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
Yes.
Now, have you played this particular Five Nights at Freddy's?
No, I think this is the new one,
I
very
think it is.
recent.
Yeah, I read that it was actually supposed to come out like during the height of COVID, and then for some reason got delayed. It came out in 2021.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I think it is the newest.
Yeah, and this one is like, I think they've completely like thrown out the original formula, and it's got like, I think it does have some things, but
yeah, it's a free roam horror survival kind of thing.
Yeah,
so,
but I have heard that it's good.
Yeah, and we did play the first Five Nights at Freddy's, and we had a good time.
Yeah, it was really fun actually.
Yeah.
I know that it was like Five Nights at Freddy's is like so, overhyped.
Yeah,
and it's like, ugh. People have been talking about it for so long. It's like, come on, get over it.
Yeah.
But that being said, when we did go and play it,
get over yourself, Google Stadia.
When we did go and play the original one, it was really fun. So I get why it became like such a big thing it was. And this one looks interesting to me. So
Did you know this is the 10th Five Nights at Freddy's game, by the way?
Oh my gosh,
It's
seriously.
the 10th game in the series.
There are some other games on the list there that I've heard are good games. There was Ark, which I know
Ark
some
Survival.
people love Ark. Ark 2 is coming out. I know that some people hate Ark, but Ark was there. Control, that's another one that is a lot of people like, some people dislike, but still it is a decent game from what I understand. I just haven't played them, and it's like, but that is like literally the extent of it. If you're having to be like, Ark's there.
There was a Shantae game.
Oh yeah, Shantae. Yeah,
and those I played a fair amount of the first. It was like a Game Boy Color game, and I've played it. I've got the legally obtained ROM, and I've played it a little bit, and it's a good little platformer.
Is that the one that's just called Shantae?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
But so I haven't played that particular Shantae, but people like those games. So that's on there too.
Yeah, there are some decent games, but what's crazy to me is that this selection of games, 51 games, okay, and they were charging $9.99 a month for you to have access to this library of games. That's not the only thing. Thank you for fixing my screen.
You're welcome. I changed my iPad. It's going to go to sleep on you if you don't do that.
Oh gosh, okay. I know that that's not the only thing that comes with your $9.99. You also get access to 4K streaming if your internet can handle it. 4K streaming, 5.1 surround sound, and then HDR. So you get like the premium experience if your internet can handle it, which I guess is cool.
Yeah, and I will say that I spent a little time with Stadia back a while back, and as far as these like cloud services go, it works really well.
I agree. Out of the cloud services, and I think I've tried them all. Stadia was by far the best and by far the most similar to a console.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I didn't realize I was, streaming it.
No, I wouldn't say that either.
But it was definitely above the others in terms of that. So it's not like they are offering an inferior streaming experience. But I really think that $9.99 a month is too much for this.
Oh, it's way too much. It's about $9 too much.
Yeah.
But I am curious, like, what reasons could you possibly see for somebody subscribing to this, if any?
I would say that, I guess if you had nothing, like all you have is a device and you have no consoles, you don't have a PC, maybe then, like maybe you have a Chromecast or something and you can just, and you want to get into gaming. And if you have YouTube Premium, you can get it for 3 months.
Yeah.
Which is the whole reason we're doing this, is that they're offering it for free for premium members for 3 months. I'd say that'd be the only reason. What about you? Any
No,
other reasons?
I think you're right. Unless you just have no other way to play games and you just want to get into gaming somehow, especially if you already have YouTube Premium and you can get this deal, that's about it.
Yeah, but even then, I'd say like you're better off going with like Game Pass Ultimate, where you can still stream. And I think
Yeah.
the streaming experience may not be quite as good,
Yeah.
but there's so
The
many
games,
more
though.
games, like so many better games.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can still get I don't know if you can still get the first month for $1 deal on Game Pass, but they used to have that deal going for a long time, and that was a great deal. I mean, you and I are like a long-term YouTube Premium subscribers, like back when it was YouTube Red, so I think you mentioned, if they were to bundle this in and just be part of it.
Yes.
I think then the conversation would be less about, oh, Stadia sucks. And it would be more about, well, look at what else you get with YouTube Premium.
Yes. Yeah,
And that's a different conversation.
I think if they just bundled it all together and said, look, okay, you get YouTube Premium, you get YouTube Music, and you get Stadia for that $10 a month. They're doing it for 3 months. They might as well just go whole hog and say, let's just make it permanent.
That's right.
At that
Hashtag
point,
whole hog.
their numbers would jump huge, right? And then I would actually have a reason to play games on Stadia, because if there was a game on there that I hadn't played yet, like say Control. Control's a game I want to play, and I currently don't have Game Pass anymore. I know it's on Game Pass, but I don't have Game Pass anymore. So if I wanted to play that game, I would either have to rent it through GameFly or I would have to buy it. But if I had Stadia, if it was included in my premium, I would just go on there and play it.
Yeah, might as well.
Like, I mean, they don't have that many games on there, but if it's just 51 games, I think that's a great perk for, people who are already subscribed to YouTube Premium.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, like Amazon Gaming's doing that with like Luna and stuff. They're just making it part of Prime.
Yeah.
And I don't know, or they're making a part of Prime.
Yeah.
I think that's what they need to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be a much better deal. And then, it's just like right now, there's no reason to be a freestanding Stadia subscriber. I just don't see a good reason. I mean, they canceled all their, what was going to be exclusives. Like,
did you know, we didn't even know this until after we recorded all our stuff and did it, but The Quarry was supposed to be a Stadia exclusive game.
Yeah, you told me that. That's so interesting to think about, because The Quarry got so big, and if it had been a Stadia exclusive, it wouldn't have.
No, it wouldn't have. It was probably really good for Supermassive Games that the Stadia deal ended up falling through.
I think so.
Because now they're able to put it on everything and it become a much bigger game. And if it had been on Stadia, I don't know that we would have ever even heard about it.
We certainly wouldn't have played it.
No, we really wouldn't have. And that's just like, unless they had offered these 3 months at the same time and something, then we might have gone and done it.
Maybe.
But I'll be honest, I'm like, part of me is considering signing up for these 3 months just to try it. But then I'm like, what's the point? I looked at the games. I'm like,
what are you going to play?
What am I going to play? And then I'm more worried that I'm going to forget to unsubscribe from it and then get charged after 3 months is up.
That would be a travesty, Randy. I don't want you to go through that, man.
Well, you know what I mean, though? It really is. Like, the games are so, they're not compelling at all. And the games that are on the list that I'm interested in playing or that I think are really good, the ones that are on there I've already played.
Right.
I mean, the very few, and there are very few.
There are.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's a tough thing to do. I think they're just trying to drag people in. They're trying to say, oh, come back to Stadia.
Yeah.
Or just try Stadia.
It's just not enough.
They've tried everything, man. They sent out free Stadia controllers and Chromecast Ultras.
I know.
They sent those to YouTube Premium subscribers who just clicked on the link. It was only for like a day.
Yeah.
But they did it.
And you didn't tell me about it until the day was over.
I know. Sorry. But they did that for free. And then now they're like saying, okay, we'll give you 3 months for free. Just try it.
They're doing everything except, making good games be on it.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, if there were like, even if there were 100 games, I might start to be like, okay, if you have nothing else, it might be okay, at least something to consider. But right now at 51 games, I'd say don't even consider it. Even though the streaming on it is really good. And that's what is bad about it. That's what kind of sucks about it, is that the streaming is really good. Mm-hmm. But it's not just all about the streaming experience. You got to have the games.
You got to have the games. I mean, I'm scrolling through this list again, and it's just, It's just pitiful. I mean, Chicken Police, paint it red. I mean,
oh yeah,
you can play 30 minutes of that at no cost.
No, that's if you're not a pro.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're all the games I think on Stadia you can pretty much demo for free.
Really?
So I mean, if you are just bored and want to go demo games,
I mean, that's cool.
You can play like 30 minutes. Some of them you can play like up to an hour or more.
You can play Terraria. I mean, I know people play that game.
Oh yeah,
that's about all I know about Terraria. Mm-hmm. Destroy All Humans. I mean, it's
another one. It's an older game though, isn't it?
I think it's a remake. I think they remade Destroy All Humans because that is an older. That was like 360.
Click on the game and see what does it bring up the release date or anything.
Yeah, this came out in 2020, the very end of 2020.
Oh, okay. So remake.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a remake.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Because that's like Destroy All Humans. That's like Xbox, right? Like
OG. Yeah, it might have been OG Xbox or maybe 360. I can't really remember here, but.
No, me neither.
Oh, and you can play Stadia games with keyboard and mouse.
Oh, okay, cool. So
because you can play Destroy All Humans with keyboard and mouse.
Well, then if you're going to play Worms and if you're going to play City Skylines, either of those two games, definitely use keyboard and mouse. I've played City Skylines both ways. I actually played City Skylines on the Switch a lot, and it works. It's not as bad as like playing Worms on console, but I would still recommend use keyboard and mouse. Play it on a computer if you have one.
Yeah, and to answer our question, Destroy All Humans originally came out in 2005, and it was for PS2 and Xbox.
Okay. Well, there you go. Speaking of PS2 and Xbox,
that's a heck of a segue, Randy.
Yeah. You know what system came after the PS2? The PS3. And then you know what came after the PS3?
No.
The PS4.
What?
And we asked... we asked the folks over at our subscribers on Gaming Gig, we asked, do you own a PS4? And the results were?
The results were at yes, 62%, and at no, 38%. So that didn't surprise me. PS4 was a pretty popular system, it seems like. So,
yeah. I mean, it was definitely a big console, very, very popular. Over half of the people that we asked had it.
And there's a lot of people that are still using it, as their primary. I mean, a lot of people.
PS5s are still very hard to find. Yeah. So, I mean, I know we have friends who still PS4s. They have not upgraded.
And those original PS4s, like the one I have, like it'll still play your games.
It will.
I mean, it may whine and breathe heavy and make your house go up like 15 degrees, but it'll play you games. Mm-hmm. I played. Oh no, I'm blanking. Samurai game.
You play a samurai game on it?
Yes.
Are you talking about Ghost of Tsushima?
Yes, Ghost of Tsushima. I played Ghost of Tsushima on it and ran it great.
Yeah, the PS4 is amazing. I think PS4 had that generation is, it's still going. I mean, because the games are still being released on PS4, so it's not over.
No, not over.
It's definitely not dead.
Yeah.
So Celeria Rose commented on this and said, currently do. It's my primary gaming system for AAA titles. I have a computer, but it's more used for indie games or emulating older titles. I will note that I do my best to try and own the games I emulate. I just play them on PC because I'm bad with small screens and it's more convenient. The Game Boy is a tough one.
Yeah, the Game Boy's so cool though, man. The Game Boy's got swagger. Yeah. I don't care what anybody says. That OG like brick of a Game Boy has got swag.
The first tolerable screens, and this may be a hot take, but the first tolerable handheld screens is the DS.
That is ridiculous.
It's true, man.
The first tolerable. You're saying tolerable.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't even have tolerated to play on a Game Boy Advance.
No, I mean I
or
have.
An SP.
I do and have. But I'm saying like the first like,
or a color.
I guess tolerable is not the right word. I mean that it's like the first screens that actually didn't make me want to like scrub my eyes after was the DS.
Well, I'm glad to have you down here with me because I was getting worried about you up there on that high horse, buddy.
I mean, says the dude who has the modded Game Boy Advance with a screen that like has like 10,000 lumens and.
Oh man, and that thing is sick. But I spent a lot of hours on OG Game Boy Advance when I was a kid.
Me too, yeah.
And a Game Boy Color.
Back then we never cared. We didn't think about it.
No, I loved every minute of it. And I'm still so sad that I can't find my original Game Boy Advance. It hurts me to this day.
I know, I'm the same way, man. Mine was white.
Mine was indigo.
Yours was the indigo. The classic.
The classic one. And that's actually why, here's a off script. That's actually why when I bought this Retroid Pocket 2 Plus, I got indigo.
Yeah.
Because it
give
looks
you a little bit of that nostalgia.
Yeah.
Kind of looks Game Boy Advance-y.
It does.
You know, it's missing the sloped sides, but you know, otherwise, it looks like a Game Boy Advance more or less.
It does.
Super cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Except, I don't remember the Game Boy Advance having joysticks.
No, it didn't have joysticks, and it didn't take micro SD cards or have internet access or Bluetooth or a backlight. You know, it had a few things missing, but I loved them.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Spencer Walker, 21, says, "Yup, PS4 can't upgrade to PS5. Too lazy to grind for one, or scalping prices. Hell no. I'm getting back into PC with the Steam Deck, probably getting an Xbox Series 2 Elite controller, or waiting for the third one. Really want back paddles for Elden Ring." They're just, you know, spilling their heart, their whole gaming heart out to us.
I feel you.
A lot of things to hit on in this comment. First of all, the grind for the PS5 is tough. It can be done, but it is tough.
Yeah.
And not everyone wants to do it.
No. I couldn't do it. I tried so hard to do it, and you just did it for me.
Yeah. I think you have to have a very particular mindset, and you got to be okay with doing very repetitive tasks over and over and over and destroying, losing hours and hours to it.
You have to be able to jump on it right when it happens too, which is what kept holding me back.
Yep.
I just couldn't always do that because I'd be teaching or whatever, you know. But yeah, but then you clapped back with something I felt like made a lot of sense. You said, "Is getting a Steam Deck any easier
than getting a PS5?" Yeah.
But in some ways, I think it probably is, because I think Valve just, you know, you signed up for your pre-order or whatever, and that's just what it was. I don't know that they have the crazy, I don't think you have to sign up for Twitters to catch Steam Deck drops.
They're more like one per customer sort of deal, and you just sign up and you get it sent to you, and that's kind of how it works. Which, when you're doing direct from the, you know, producer, you can do that, but the PlayStation isn't that way.
Right.
You can buy directly from Sony, but it's like they almost do none of those. The vast majority are sold through other retailers.
Yeah, I participated in a couple of those little lottery-esque drop opportunities.
Now, in Steam Deck news, they have announced recently that they are doubling production, that they're able to produce twice as many. They're ramping it up. So people who have pre-ordered it, they're getting their dates pushed forward, and they're moving in. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I still really want a Steam Deck.
I do too. I just am really worried that I'll never use it.
Yeah.
That I'll buy it. And then it'll just be sitting there, and it'll be cool, and I'll load up some games and check it out and then never play.
And you'll be like, this is such a cool thing. And then But I mean, I don't know. Do you ever bring your Switch out of the house? Because I think you do.
I do, yeah.
I certainly do.
Yeah, I do.
So, but the thing about the Steam Deck, and I've watched a lot of Steam Deck content on YouTube, that everybody keeps coming back to, is how freaking big it is.
It's
so,
big.
if you want a portable system, the Steam Deck is portable, and yeah, you can play Elden Ring on a plane, and that's awesome. But it's going to be a chunk, you know, and sitting it next to a Switch OLED, it makes a Switch OLED look like a Switch Lite. Yeah. It's it's tiny. And people say it's really comfortable, you know, and that's probably a trade-off, you know, because
it's
bigger controllers are probably going to be more comfortable. But
it's big, yes, that's a big thing. But I think the main thing is I'm just worried that it's too expensive and I'm not going to use it. Yeah, it's just cool. I want it for the collection. Me too. But I'm so worried I'm not going to play it. Girlfriend Reviews just did a video on it, and it was exactly what I was afraid would happen to me.
Really?
It was great.
I want to watch that. I'm going to put that
in
on my list.
On your list, yeah. Their video on it is great. If you guys, shout out to Girlfriend Reviews. That is a really great gaming YouTube channel. You probably know about it. If you're watching us, you probably have heard of Girlfriend Reviews. Yeah. But if you haven't, you can thank me later.
You know, we had a friend who, he lives up in Nashville, and he signed up for a Steam Deck and then somehow missed his opportunity to actually order it. They sent him the email and he just didn't see it or something. So he's not going to get one. And I was really excited to maybe eventually go see him and use him for his Steam Deck, you know.
He's got to be kicking himself, right?
I don't think he cared that much.
Well, I know him, and I figured that he would get it because I know he's the type of person that would want it.
And he watches these podcasts too. So Tyler, just know that yes, I was going to come use you for your Steam Deck, but at least you get to see me.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Next comment. You want to hit us with this one, Daniel?
Heck yeah, Sacred Emerald.
Sacred Emerald.
That's a Wizard of Oz thing. Anyway, I have a PS4 Pro, but I don't use it as much as I used to anymore because I bought a PC. And I feel you on that because I love my PC. Buying my PC hurt my Xbox time, big time.
And so, I'm sure your PlayStation time.
It did, but the PlayStation's making a resurgence. But yeah, the Xbox got hurt a lot. You said how's PC gaming treating you? They said so far good. Bought some games for the PS4 to my PC, and it's looking good right now. I'm planning to upgrade my PC case and my 1660 Ti. So that's pretty cool,
Yeah.
You went on to ask what they're upgrading to. They're upgrading to a Thermaltake Tower 100 black case and a 3070 Ti or a 3080 or waiting for the 40 series graphic cards.
Yeah. And you got a 3070. It seems to treat you pretty well.
I love my 3070. It's not the Ti.
No.
But yeah, I love my 3070.
Yeah.
I know. I just saw the other day that I think Best Buy has some 3080s back in stock or something like that. But it's I don't know when those 400 or 40 series will come out. But
well, I think they've been doing like an every other year sort of thing, so we can probably predict because I think the 10 series was either 2016 or 2017, and then the 20s were 2019. I think the 30s were 2021. So 2023, sometime next year.
Yeah,
maybe.
So that'd be pretty cool.
Maybe next year we'll see the 40 series.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure will be amazing.
I'm sure it will be. It'll be neat to see what the next gen cards do.
Graphics cards are starting to go down in price. Do you know why?
I don't know why.
So apparently, I'm
the goodness of their hearts.
I'm kind of speaking out of ignorance here, and I don't know the whole thing because I'm not really into this. But from what I understand, the crypto market is going down. And because a lot of these graphics cards were used to do crypto mining, now that that's starting to not be as much of a thing, they're not getting bought up in mass quantities by bots anymore.
Really?
So they're starting just to go to the general market, and a lot of used cards are being sold now for like retail price or even lower than retail price, and like all kinds of cool stuff like that's happening.
Well, all it takes to twist that narrative around is one tweet from Elon Musk.
I think I think there's a lot to that I'm not exactly sure about.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would have never thought about that. I would have just assumed NVIDIA wanted, their cards to be in the hands of nice, faithful gamers like us.
Right?
They don't care. They're just counting their fast stacks.
Speaking of being a faithful gamer, Daniel, I know you've been very faithful to gaming this week, haven't you? It's time for gaming confessions.
That's such a weird thing to say. I've been extremely faithful to gaming, as I am most of the time, I think. I have done a little cheating throughout the years. I've certainly had a Game Shark back in the day. And I had the cheat codes to Grand Theft Auto games, like taped places,
I have it memorized, man.
Yeah, well, eventually I got there too. I mean, I had one of the Grand Theft Auto games for PSP, and I actually had some cheat codes like taped to the inside of my PSP case, so that when I opened it up, they were just right there. So, lately, yes, I've been faithful. Over the years, I have cheated, but I've been playing games this week. If that's what you're asking,
I was asking.
Yeah. That. So, lots of Sea of Thieves still. That's just going to have to be a constant for quite some time now, I'm afraid. But I've also started Death Stranding, which is unlike any game I've ever played, as advertised. It's, I joked about how people said it was a walking simulator, and it is, to start out, a little bit of a walking simulator, but it's a very in-depth walking simulator, right all the way down to the keeping your balance. So it's not a boring walking kind of way.
No.
It's like a strategic plan your route while you have all this crap.
Yeah, it's definitely like a lot of planning and trying to. It's about like one, you plan, but then you got to go through it. You got to like actually perform your plan, which is, and things go haywire, and then you got to fix it, and like it's
very cool game, very cinematic. Very cinematic. Super lore heavy. There's so many things I don't know, so many words I don't know, like we were talking about.
Yeah, we talked about this off stream.
Yeah.
Off stream. Off podcast. Look, we're so used to streaming.
Yeah. You know, the only thing I don't like, and I told you about this already, the only thing that I don't like about that game right now is that there's a certain thing that you have to do sometimes. And when you do, it shows you an ad for an AMC show starring Norman Reedus. And if you don't know, Norman Reedus is in Death Stranding. I'm sure you know.
It's a very fourth wall breaking sort of thing.
Man, it takes me right out of it. It just, I mean, this game is like so, you know, hell bent on sucking you in.
Yeah.
And then it shows me an AMC ad?
Yeah. I understand that. I honestly never even noticed it.
I cannot believe you didn't see that.
I played the whole game, never noticed that.
That's crazy.
What else you been playing?
We started Cana, Bridge of Spirits.
Yes, we did.
Which, if you're not aware, that won Indie Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Yeah, show it to the people, Randy.
Today's episode is sponsored by Cana, Bridge of Spirits.
Not a sponsor.
Yes, it is a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
They paid us a lot of money to mention this game.
It was no money exchanged. But
yeah, first sponsor of the podcast, guys. Cana, Bridge of Spirits.
Heck of an ad spot there, Randall. So we, you know, if you haven't been keeping up with us, we've been playing one-player games and turning them into co-op games as best we can. And Cana is our newest one.
Yeah.
So we're streaming it pretty often.
We are.
Come check us out over on Twitch.
I have to say I'm pretty bad at it.
Randy sucks at Cana, but he's also, we flipped the script, and for the first of these games that we've done co-op style, he's the one remote playing in, and he's not doing well.
The delay is significant. And the combat is fairly, you gotta, you know, it's not like it's the most like you have to do everything last second and like, but there's a lot of decision making you have to do. You gotta be able to dodge. You gotta have really good, a lot of bow and arrow. You gotta aim it.
A lot of bow. It got very bow heavy.
It did. So like,
and you have to hit your spots,
and you gotta hit like tiny little spots. And when you're remote playing, what happens is, you know, you're aiming and you'll think you have it, but then you fire and you realize, nope, it went too far because, and then you'll try to you'll be like, I'm going to release early and then it's just very difficult.
It's so funny to watch him. Actually, you know, like I've said, me and Randy have been friends a long time and we love to watch each other struggle with things. And I had a great time watching Randy get his butt kicked by Cana. But guys, it got to the point where I started to feel bad for him.
That's pretty bad.
I stopped laughing. I don't know if you noticed, but I stopped.
You stopped laughing.
I started trying to be sympathetic because I just felt bad.
I need it. It's really a tough game to play remote. I think that is. Some games work really well if you're remote playing, and it doesn't matter that there's a lot of input delay.
Like the Quarry.
Like the Quarry was great. Like those types of games don't matter.
Yeah.
But this is not a game that is that way. So I'm struggling, but
yeah. I just did Resident Evil 3 that way, and I did not hit many headshots.
No, there was times where you were like, I can't even. You just gave up trying to do headshots.
Yeah, I would just put center mass.
Yeah.
So,
and that game's a little more forgiving in that way, in that you don't you can do it. You don't have to hit only headshots.
Right.
Although they want you to.
And it sure as heck would have helped.
It would have helped.
Because I used a lot of ammo. So, what you been playing, Randall Abra?
Let's see. I've been playing. I started a new game on 3DS, going back a generation here, and I am playing Kirby Triple Deluxe.
Nice.
Which is a 2D platform. It's the last Kirby game before the transition to Switch. So before Star Allies, and it's really fun. It's very well done.
Very cool.
It's easy. I don't think I've died a single time yet, but it's also got a lot of really clever stuff. It's got, it's 3D, so a lot of the levels will have like a back and a forward section. You can go back and be in the background, and they do a lot of really cool stuff with the 3D. And I think that that's just really fun. You don't have to play it in 3D, but boy, it helps. It really helps. Very cool. So I've been playing that. And then let me think what else. Catherine and I have been playing Rayman Legends, which is also a 2D platformer. And dude, that game is, I got it because I've seen so many people talk about it online. It just seems like recently I've seen a lot of people mention in our comments and stuff that they really enjoyed it. And I looked it up, and I didn't know this, but apparently it's considered to be like one of the best platformers of all time.
Wow.
Like,
what are you playing it on?
I'm playing it on PS5, but it's the PS4 version.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But it's on everywhere. It's on Switch, it's on PlayStation, it's on Xbox.
Did it come out for, like, it was new for that generation?
It came out in 2013, so it came out in that weird transition time. So it came out on like both Xbox 360 and Xbox One, PS3 and PS4, Wii U, Switch, PS Vita maybe. It's like on everything. Like on so many things.
I'd like a PS Vita.
Me too.
That's a system I'd really like.
Me too, dude. Yeah. But it's a great game. I've thoroughly enjoyed playing it. We're probably about halfway through with it, and it's.
I love platformers.
Yeah, well, you should definitely check it out because it is really great. And we're playing it in co-op. You can play the whole game, and I think up to 4-player co-op.
Yep, 4-player co-op,
which is pretty cool. It treats like any other 2D platformer co-op game you've done where you're both on screen and whoever's in front pushes the camera forward, you know. And if you get behind, now in other games like say like Mario, if you get behind you get bubbled and you come back. In Rayman, if you get behind and you get left, your character dies. So
Rayman, unforgiving.
I mean, not like they don't die, they still bubble and come back and you can get popped, but it's like your character, it doesn't like your
I thought you said they didn't bubble.
Well, you do bubble. I guess it's the same.
Does the other guy have to pop the bubble?
Yeah. I guess it's the exact same.
So it's like when you lose Baby Mario in Yoshi's Island.
Yes.
Without the timer.
Without a timer, yeah. So it's just like...
Or is there a timer?
I said it's different, but it's not. I think it's exactly the same now that I think through it.
Well, I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
And beyond those two games, I'm also playing through Uncharted 4. And big fan. I have to say, big fan. It is really good. If you're looking for if you haven't played the Uncharted games, which you've tried.
I played the first one a little, and it was, it didn't seem like my cup of tea, but I think I would like the newer ones. I really do. That first one just...
the first one is definitely the worst.
It just has a little bit of jank, being an older game. I ain't trying to crap on anybody's beloved game here. I know they're good for a reason. I know people like them for a reason.
Yeah.
And I like old games, but for some reason that one just didn't hit me.
Yeah. Well, you might want to... It's weird because they're they're all standalone stories. So, I mean, like you could definitely just jump into a later one and it wouldn't affect. But you're not going to have you're not going to know the characters and stuff,
Yeah.
I
do like to play things from the beginning.
Like, I don't think you wouldn't enjoy the story of, 4 going into it fresh. But you're not going to know, you're not going to know everybody. And, everyone in there is an established character. Troy Baker's in there as a character.
Nice.
Yeah.
Troy Baker's in Death Stranding.
Yes. Troy Baker's in everything. He's good.
Troy Baker's the man. If you don't know who that is, it's Joel from The Last of Us.
He's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very, very good.
Speaking of Troy Baker and The Last of Us, Randy, I saw a poll on Reddit the other day that I was curious about what you'd think of.
Okay.
It was after Last of Us Part 1, would you rather Naughty Dog make a prequel about Joel before he met Ellie, a Part 3 that continues Ellie's story, or a completely separate story in the Last of Us universe?
I can go ahead and say that although a separate story in the Last of Us universe would be cool and all, and they could probably do some cool stuff with it, I'm so attached to both those characters that I'm just going to disregard that. And I'm going to say it's got to be between the Joel prequel or the Ellie sequel. I think it'd be
like Joel and Tommy, doing what they did.
Yeah. I think that if I had to pick one, I would rather see Ellie's story continued.
That's what I said.
Because...
Got to go with our girl.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's more story to be told there, first of all.
Yeah.
And it's a story I'm very interested in. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, although you play as Joel in The Last of Us, the game is really about Ellie.
It is. She's the star. I mean, she steals the show in that game.
Yeah, so, I mean, Joel is just your playable character. And, and I'm not saying Joel's not an amazing character because he's phenomenal.
Yes.
But the story revolves around Ellie. It's Ellie's story.
It's Ellie's story. And, you get little tidbits about Joel's past you know, here and there, and you can ruin things when you over explain things. And I just don't think they need to like explicitly show us exactly what that was. Whereas we know nothing about how Ellie kept going.
Yeah, we
like
don't
you
know.
can't. I don't even think. How can you even suppose what happened? You have nothing to go on.
Yeah, I think that to me the more interesting thing would be to see what happens next.
Yeah.
Although I will say, if they came out with a Joel prequel, I would be pumped.
Oh, day one, easy day one. If that dude at GameStop asked me to come to the midnight premiere, I might even be there.
Dude, the guy at GameStop. What game was he trying to get us to go? Oh, he's trying to get us to go for Arceus.
Yeah,
midnight premiere.
it was for Arceus.
Nope.
Man, he was desperate too.
Not midnight premiere, midnight release. It's not a movie.
Yeah, it's not a movie. Whatever.
Yeah, he really, really wanted us to go to that.
That was so funny. And
he
sad.
said it was their first midnight release since COVID started. So.
Yeah, it was that. It was like the end of that. I don't remember what politician did that speech, and then he was like, "Please clap." You know, it was like that. Please come.
That was Jeb Bush. That was Jeb Bush. That was Jeb Bush. Well, speaking of Jeb Bush, I think we're going to end this thing early.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So, well, I think we're actually pretty decently linked podcast today. But, all right, guys, let us know in the comments if you made it all the way here. We want to hear from you because you are a diehard. You're a ride or die.
You're a diehard man.
Yeah.
Or whoa man.
And we want to hear from you about what you think. Is this 3 free months of Stadia, is it tempting to you? Or do you, like us, not think it's worth doing and it's just a kind of sad attempt at trying to get people to at least think of Stadia?
Yeah, let us know why it's not worth it.
I guess it kind of worked. We made a podcast about it.
We did, and it was fun. We're
probably doing more advertisements than they are about it.
That's true. Bad press is still press.
All right, guys. Well, until next time, I'm Randy.
And I'm Daniel.
And this has been Gaming Gig.
Peace out.